Okay, it's time to move on. Let me just go through the slides that Deb didn't get to. You had a whole presentation in there, Deb, by the looks of it. Okay, we're going to move on now to the three areas of SEO growth in 2019-2020. So we're going to go from the deep thinking stuff, inclusivity, right now into a bit of data. In this session, we're going to break down the three key areas of SEO and show you actionable steps and tips that are working today for clients both in Australia and also in the US market. So we're going to learn a little bit from the US as well and bring that back into the room today. Our next presenter has 14 years of experience in internet marketing and SEO. He's grown his own network of sites to 25 million unique visitors from SEO and worked with large corporates such as Virgin Mobile, Woolworths, Citibank, and more to drive growth from SEO and content channels. In 2012, he founded Prosperity Media and since worked with high-growth startups such as Fairfax Media, P&O, Open Colleges, and many more to help grow their leads and traffic from organic traffic channels. Please welcome to the stage SEO Director of Prosperity Media, James Norquay.
All right, thanks everyone for coming to DigiMarcon. This presentation, it's got a little bit of everything. It's a little bit technical. It's got some takeaways for everyone, so hopefully you learn something new. That's what it's about. So yeah, we're going to start with a little story. We were called out at an event for not ranking for the keyword SEO Sydney. So we made a landing page. It was 2,000 words. Our team said, let's use internal links, let's get it ranking for this keyword. We were thinking, once it started showing in fourth position, we were thinking, show me the money. We're going to start getting all these great leads coming in, as you'd expect. But it was completely wrong. From ranking for SEO Sydney, these were the type of leads that started coming in. I want to rank for 2 keywords. I want to rank for male stripper Sydney. I've got $70 a month budget. I want to rank for adult nappies. So we started to realize these leads were shitty. And the lesson here is, even if you're ranking for a great keyword that your competitors might think is a great term, the thing is, it might mean that the traffic that it's going to send is going to be low quality. So just because you're not ranking for something doesn't mean it's going to create a lot of commercial viability. So a little bit about me. Been doing SEO for over 14 years. Last year, we got awarded Best Agency in Australia. I'm sure every SEO agency in Australia says they've been awarded for something. They say, oh, we're the fastest growing, we're the best, we're this and that. But the thing is, this was the first legitimate award that's ever been run in Australia. They had a 20-judge SEO panel. So yeah, this was a pretty big win. As said, we've worked with some really big companies to grow SEO over the years. But the main thing is, what am I going to be talking about today? So there's 3 key areas. There's technical SEO, so some things that you need to know from a technical point of view. There's content, there's link acquisition and outreach. And the thing is, if anyone doesn't understand anything today, please feel free to ask in the question and answer time. Or if you don't want to ask then, come up to our booth and please ask away. We're more than happy to go into more detail. So now, 8 technical SEO issues that we see on a day-to-day basis at our agency. The first one is poorly formatted schema markup. The thing is, if you're running a business in 2019, you need to have schema markup on your website. And the way to do that, you go to schema.org. You'll have to look through the whole list of schema, because the thing is, you need to have the correct schema markup. We take on many projects from other agencies. We've seen some horror stories where they don't even have the correct schema. They use default schema markup. This is a great little tool. So this is called Surfer SEO. It's a tool out of Poland. This is a bit more technical, but if you want to search for a commercial keyword, let's say cruises online or cruises Sydney, you can see what other companies are using for schema markup on the page. So you can put the commercial term in to Surfer SEO, and it will show you what your competitors' schemas they're currently using. Then you can go to schema.org and you can reverse engineer that. The next one is website speed. So website speed is crucial, and you saw Dave's talk yesterday on conversion rate optimization. Speed comes into conversion, but it also impacts SEO. A great tool is batchspeed.com. Basically, what you can do on batchspeed.com, you can look at multiple pages on your website. Rather than just looking at one page, this tool can scrape up to 100 URLs for speed issues. So if you want to impress a client or you want to impress your boss, use this tool and you can get a lot of data very quickly. It gives you a score out of 100 and it pulls other issues. Sometimes people say, oh, our website's loading fantastic, because they've only looked at their homepage. They haven't looked at their internal pages on the website. That's a common issue that we see a lot. Someone actually sent me an email at 6:30 a.m. this morning, and they said, "Oh, we've tested our website. It's loading quickly. It's loading in under a second." And then I said, "Have you checked it on batchspeed.com? Because I just ran a report, and you've got multiple pages that are taking 10 seconds to load. And this is a website doing $20 million in revenue. So you've got to check it." The next one is huge. So we see this problem a lot where people put images on their website and they don't even downsize them. This is a fantastic app. Before you put an image into a blog article or onto your website, ensure that you use squish.app. This is a tool that Google brought out, but for whatever reason, they didn't really promote it. So you can use squish.app and you can downsize images. If you've got an image that's 14 megabytes, that's going to load slow. So you use squish.app, it can downsize it by 94%, even more, and it will save you a lot of load time and it will make your website load quickly. The next issue that we see, this is a bit more technical, it's excessive scripts on websites. So sometimes people use a tool like Crazy Egg or something else and they stop using it, but they leave the scripts on the website. If you have excessive scripts, it will slow down your website. We've seen sites that have 56 scripts running, the site's loading in 15 seconds, and we say, how many of these 56 scripts are you still using? And they say, oh, we're only using like 10 of those. So it's an easy one. And the way you can find out what scripts are currently running on your website, you can use builtwith.com. Builtwith is also good because you can check the detailed technology profile of a website. So if you want to know what your competitors' CMS that they're using, if you want to know if they're using like Shopify or WooCommerce or Magento, you can put it into Builtwith and it'll tell you their CMS. Also, if you're running an agency and you're taking sales calls and you want to diagnose what CMS someone's using quickly, you can use Builtwith because they call you up and then on the phone you can say, oh, I noticed you're using Shopify, I noticed you're using this or that. It sounds good. The next bit that I want to talk to you about is TTFB. So TTFB is time to first byte, and it's a ranking factor from a speed point of view. Once again, you can use Surfer SEO to work out what the TTFB of your competition is. So you search for cruises online, you can get a TTFB graph to show you how quick your website is ranking in comparison to your competitors. So sometimes people say, oh, why aren't we ranking for this keyword? You can use Surfer SEO and you can do a TTFB report and say, your competitors are ranking 50% quicker than you are for this keyword. You're not going to beat them. The next one, this is a funny one, but we still see people making this issue in 2019. People spamming the hell out of meta keywords. The thing is, you don't want to spam meta keywords. Google came out over 10 years ago and said, do not use meta keywords. I still see to this day large businesses with no clue using meta keywords. I still see agencies with no clue using meta keywords. It's a spam signal, and if you're doing it, please stop. Another big one that we see is missing meta descriptions on websites. The thing is, if you've got a missing meta description on a high-ranking page, what Google does is they just pull the data from anywhere on the website, so it's going to affect conversion. Another big issue that we see is broken internal links on a website. So basically, if you've got broken internal links, it's bad for SEO, but it's also bad for UX. You can do it on SEMrush. You can run a broken links report on this tool. It's very easy to do. Another big issue that we use, and this is a bit more technical once again, is issues with canonical tags. So if you've got a website with a lot of content, you should be using canonical tags. It's a way to prevent duplicate content on a large scale website. So I've seen websites in the past where someone stuffed up a canonical tag, they've put the same canonical tag site-wide, and it caused mass de-indexation of numerous pages across the site. Another big problem that we see is issues with legacy link acquisition. You can do some dodgy link building 10 years ago. It can come back to haunt you today. You've got to do your background checks. There's one tool in the market that does really good for legacy link acquisition. It's Majestic SEO. You can also use Ahrefs to check what's being done. Because the thing is, a low-quality link building is kind of like termites hiding in your house. They can come up at any time and hurt you, and Google can really impact your site. Another thing that I'd really recommend everyone here does is use SiteBub. SiteBub is similar to Screaming Frog, but it's a bit more advanced. And what you need to be doing is, you need to be running regular crawls on your website with SiteBub. You go to SiteBub, you can put in your URL, and you can produce a report with technical SEO issues on your site. You need to do this on a monthly basis because these issues aren't going to fix themselves. You've got to fix them with your team or your in-house developer or your contract developer. All right. Now we're going to talk about some content issues, content landing pages, etc., etc. Firstly, one of the best tools on the market for content analysis at scale and keyword research is clearscope.io. It's a tool out of Silicon Valley. The crazy thing about this tool is it only has like 400 customers in the world. The reason is it's not cheap. It's $500 a month. With this tool, you can do a lot of really in-depth analysis from a keyword research point of view. So you can put in your keywords that you want to target. It will give you information around trending keywords. It will tell you CPCs. The tool gets a bit more advanced. What you do is, if you put in a keyword, say I was looking for credit cards, it'll tell you the readability of the page. It'll tell you whoever's ranking, how much word count do they have. It will then give you the content grade of those pages. But it gets better. With this tool, it uses TF-IDF analysis. So basically, you can see what factors certain keywords have and why they're ranking. So if you're producing a lot of content landing pages at scale and you want to get them ranking, you can use clearscope.io, put in the keyword into their content auditor tool. It will tell you what keywords are missing from your landing page. It will tell you how many word count you need. It's quite an advanced tool. Not many people are talking about this tool in Australia. It's only starting to get popular in the US market. Once again, you can see what terms are missing from your page. The thing is, if you're trying to rank for a highly competitive keyword like credit cards, and your competitors have constantly beaten you for many years, you can put the landing page into ClearScope and you can get some data around that. The way that it works is it scrapes the first 20 results on Google and provides information on what you need to do to get ranking. The next tactic that we've been doing a lot of over the last, 8 years or so is the Skyscraper Technique. What this means is you look at something that is already ranking for a commercial keyword and you pretty much just rebuild it yourself in your own words, make your own spin on it. This is an example of a client that we work with in the US. They're in a competitive vertical, the food delivery space. As you can see, we help them grow to over 244 visibility per month. I believe their traffic value is over 700K per month. The way that we did this, we built long-form content assets that were researched. So these were 10,000 word content assets. We got them ranking on commercial keywords. Another tactic that's working very well, and it doesn't matter what vertical you're in, is using statistic assets. HubSpot does this very well. Their statistics marketing piece has over 17,000 links to it. The thing about these type of content assets, you can do them in any vertical. We've got a client in the dangerous goods storage niche, and they say, oh, it's so hard to make content for our site. And we're like, you can make a statistics content asset around dangerous chemicals and things like that. And the thing is, people want to link to this stuff. The beauty about a statistics piece of content is when journalists are looking to source content, they'll go straight to Google and look for some relevant statistics, and they'll link back to your site. Another thing that works really well is making seasonal content. Once again, we have a few clients in the aged care sector. They kind of say, oh, it's hard to produce content. The thing is, you've got to get creative. And here's an example, 13 amazing Halloween costumes for the elderly. Things like this are creative and people want to share them, and you can get links back to this type of content. Another one that's really good is newsjacking content. So Donald Trump, this is a content asset that the New York Times made, and basically anytime Donald Trump says something silly on Twitter, they update the content asset. It has over 3,100 referring domains to the asset. In-depth guides are also fantastic for generating links. Buffer is a fantastic site that does a lot of in-depth guides. I definitely recommend you check out them. Verse landing pages. If you're working in the software space, you should be making these type of landing pages because they're great for conversion and people are always searching for this type of stuff. If you look at like Dropbox, there's so many variations that you can do for this keyword. So if you've got a business, you want to make a verse landing page because people that are in the buying, like purchase cycle, they'll be comparing businesses. And if you don't have a verse page on your website, your competitors will or other affiliates in the space will. Another interesting one you can do, it doesn't matter if you're a software business. This was something that we did for one of our clients. So we work with Spacer. They're a disruptive startup. We made a landing page, Kennard Storage versus Spacer. We got it ranking in 3rd position for Kennard Storage. The funny thing was the CEO of Kennard Storage wrote a big blow-up article about Spacer on the company blog, and he linked back to Spacer. The thing was, they were giving us free promotion. As a disruptive startup, they said, let's do whatever to get as much promotion as we can. So Kennard Storage helped us in this mission. Another easy thing you can do is with comparison content, you can compare areas. You can do Sydney versus Melbourne. People in Melbourne always say Melbourne's the best, but it's the same with Sydney. People always want to read this type of content. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about link acquisition and what you should be doing from an outreach point of view. Quick show of hands. Who do you think gets better results, males or females for outreach? If you think it's males, put your hand up. No, this is an easy one. Females usually get a lot better results, and there's been data to kind of prove this. So someone did a massive outreach study where they sent 30,000 emails, and you can see that females, if you're sending outreach from a female, you're going to get over 60% in terms of reply rate. Where if you're a male, the reply rate is going to be in the 40 percentile. So basically, anytime you're doing digital PR outreach, you should be getting one of the female employees in your office to be sending the outreach because at scale, it's going to convert better. Another big issue that I see in the Australian market are agencies who send outreach on behalf of clients. You should always be sending the outreach from a domain that's associated with the client because the reply rate is going to be far higher than if you're an agency sending the outreach. Another common issue that we say is people say, oh, I want to contact someone, but I can't find their information. An easy way to find contact information is using the Facebook About Us section. People always put a contact email there. Some sites make it really hard for you to contact them, but if you use the Facebook About Us section, you can do it. Another great tool for finding emails is called hunter.io. Definitely worth checking out. The thing is, if you're going to be sending emails, you've got to test the deliverability of your domain. A big issue I see with large businesses that are sending emails, they don't check the deliverability. You can use mail-tester to check if you're in any spam lists. Because if you're in a spam list, your email is going to go directly to the spam folder. Another one that we see, people making mistakes with, you always have to follow up. This was a big study by Backlinko. They sent 12 million emails, and they tested it that if you only sent one email versus sending one email with 2 follow-ups, the reply rate is going to be a lot higher. Now, another issue that we see is people that send emails on weekends. If you want to get a reply to someone, you're going to have to send the email during the middle of the week. Wednesday is the best day. Once again, this was a study by Backlinko. Now, another one, and this goes for anything. If you want to get a reply from someone you've been trying to get in contact with, the best time to send that email is during around 10 a.m. in the morning. So this was a study by MailChimp, where they sent a large volume of emails and they tested the best hour of the day to send emails. Now, this is a really creative email that I received that I thought I'd share with everyone today. So I received an email from someone and he said, "Is that you on the poster?" And it was a wanted poster with me and it said SEO, SEM, Google Analytics. I thought it was a bit weird at first and I didn't reply. And then he's followed up with another email with his photo with my name on a coffee mug. So this is a very creative email, and you can do this on this guy's tool. It's called lemlist.com. You can send these quirky emails to people, and the thing is, if you're sending an email like this, it's going to get replies because it's far better than sending an email like this. And this was an email that we received to one of our domains, and I thought I'd share it. It was like, "Hello, hopefully you are great. I was considered to read some articles on your site. I would be amazed if you authorized me to sponsor a post on your site." The thing is, as soon as you get to that, you're like, this is a spam email. He's making all these typos. There's no way I'm going to let him write anything for our site. The thing is, a lot of sites are starting to ask for crazy money. Who's reached out here and you get a reply where people are like, "I want to write for your site." And they're like, "Sure, you can write for my mummy blogger site. It's going to cost $1,500 or $2,000. Here's my media kit." The thing is, SEOs need to start thinking like PRs. Because the thing is, we've been doing a lot of digital PR outreach recently. We've been getting leads from sites like AFR. And I only needed to send 10 emails to get this reply from AFR. So the thing is, it's a free lead on an authoritative site. This is a common question that we get from people. They say, "How do I get EDU links or government links?" They're the piece de resistance in the SEO space. The easy way to do that is you offer a student discount. Many brands are doing this. If you're in e-commerce, you can say, "Students get 10% off." And every uni in Australia has pages like this. And these pages are very authoritative because, one, they're going to send traffic and they're going to get really good EDU links. Big businesses are doing this at scale. Budget Direct is doing this at a large volume right now. You can take it to the next level. You can also offer staff discounts. People only think about students, but sometimes you can think about staff. You can say 10% off for staff as well. Because the thing is, there's a lot of universities that have these staff discount pages too. So that's another really good tip. Some Australian brands are really taking it to the next level from a link acquisition point of view. Real Insurance, they did this campaign where they put gym equipment in a large number of council areas. They built a microsite to kind of get all these government sites to link back to this gym website, and then they redirected that site to their domain. It's a bit of a sneaky strategy, but it worked to get some really lucrative government links from council websites. Now, another really good tool that I recommend everyone checks out here is called tenon.io. And there was some discussion earlier in the previous panel about accessibility. If you want to test the accessibility of your website, you can use tenon.io. It used to be free to get a few scans, but they're making it paid now. The thing is, you've got to make your website accessible for visually impaired users. If you've got a large business and it's not accessible, it's a problem. Another tactic that you can use that's a bit more advanced is reverse image search to look at who's stealing your images. So you can do this on ahrefs.com. If you're a large business, you'll find that a lot of people will be stealing your images. This is an example from CommBank. So I ran a little report on CommBank, and you can see that this one image that I found on their website, multiple domains had stolen this. So what you can do is you can do reverse image search in Google. So you can actually upload an image to Google search and do this. Another big one is this is mainly for larger businesses, is you see people linking to social media accounts. For CBA, for example, they had 163 people linking to their social media accounts. The thing is, you don't want people linking to your social media, you want people linking to your branded website. So this is an easy win. You can reach out to these people and say, hey, I noticed that you're linking to our social media assets at the moment. Would you mind also linking to our website? It's easy to do, but all you got to do is put your social media URL into Ahrefs and reverse engineer who's linking to your social media content. I know there was someone yesterday from La Trobe University. For those type of businesses, you can easily do this. Now I'm just going to talk about some other little quirky growth tactics that we've used. So there might be something here. Some of these tactics are a little bit grey hat. Maybe we wouldn't recommend them for a very large business, but if you're an aggressive startup and you don't care, it might be right for you. Quick show of hands. Who has Bing Webmaster Tools installed here? We've got one person over two. The thing is, everyone here should have Bing Webmaster Tools installed. I might make it easier. Who has Google Webmaster Tools installed? Good, about maybe 40%. Everyone, if you've got a website, you should have Google Webmaster Tools and Bing Webmaster Tools. And a lot of people say to us, oh, but Bing's only 3 to 5% market share in Australia. The thing is, we've got clients that are getting big traffic from Bing in Australia. They're getting over 10,000 visitors. And the thing is, if your site gets 100,000 visitors a month and you only have 5%, that's 5,000 visitors a month. So why wouldn't you have Bing Webmaster Tools installed? The next tactic I'm going to talk about, this is a bit more growth hacky. We use a site called cameo.com. We got a shout out from Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank in the US. So I don't know if there's any Shark Tank fans here, but we paid $700 US. We got Kevin to make a 1 minute long video. We then used that video and we made an April Fool's joke, and we said Prosperity Media hires Kevin O'Leary. We used that video in the content asset. We also used the video as a remarketing campaign. It did very well. Another thing you can do is you can use Ahrefs to find out what people are searching for on Quora. The thing is, Quora is a high traffic site. You put Quora.com into Ahrefs, and you can reverse engineer topics that are related to your site. Say you're selling mobile phones. You can search for mobile phones as a keyword in Ahrefs on the Quora domain and see the most popular topics about Quora that people are talking about. Another one that we're seeing, this is a little bit more spammy, I wouldn't recommend this for a big business, is emojis in search results. Especially in the coupons niche, you see a lot of this. As you can see, sometimes you can have these cool little emojis coming up, like the fire one, and there's other ones down here. The thing is, this type of stuff doesn't last forever. If you're a small business and you want to test it, it can work, but I wouldn't recommend it for a large business. Another thing that I want to say, and I don't really hear many people talking about this in Australia, is if you're in SEO or digital marketing, you've got to be thinking about acquiring websites or acquiring businesses and things like that. Because the thing is, they can have better ROI than real estate. And in Australia, real estate is damn expensive. If you're in digital space, you can pick up a cheap website. Here's an example of a site that we bought this year. It had 300,000 words of content. It had 8,000 keywords ranking, and it was making like $500 a month. And I think we only paid $5K for it. So the ROI on this site is great. So if you're in digital, you should start thinking about buying and selling websites because it's a great little extra income and side hustle. To wrap things up, please remember, good SEO can take time. It can take months to years to achieve growth, but when it does, it can pay off in a huge way. Here's an example for a client that we work with in the AU market. We help them increase their traffic from 300,000 visitors a day to over 600,000 visitors a day from organic search traffic. And the thing is, this didn't happen overnight. This took many years of hard work. It took 4 years to achieve this number. So the thing is, SEO takes time. It's not like paid search where you can do it quickly. It takes time, but it pays off in a big way. Now, some little wrap-up points from today. Remember, get technical SEO right from the start and monitor things on an ongoing basis. I think everyone here today is going to have to go home and get Bing Webmaster Tools installed, get Google Webmaster Tools installed, because it's an easy win. Another thing is, get your landing pages right, get the content assets right, ensure that you're sending emails at the right time. Look for link acquisition wins where possible. And yeah, finally, look for growth wins, but overall, focus on strategy. If you want to get in touch, we'll be outside with a booth. There's our contact information. Does anyone have any questions? Please feel free to ask anything. I'm happy to talk about any type of SEO area. Does anyone have any questions? We've got one question.
Hi. I just wanted to ask how you rate SEMrush as a tool compared to that Clearwater one that you said only had 400 users.
SEMrush is a good tool for like a diverse suite. So if you're looking at keyword research and things like that, or if you want to do like a citation audit, or you want to do a quick little website audit, they have some really good tools for that, and it's pretty cheap. Like I think you can get it for like $70 or $80 a month on their entry-level plan. You can also do this thing called projects on there, so you can add your website on, and it gives you like monthly reports. So for the price, it's a really good tool. That tool that I mentioned, ClearScope, that's more like an enterprise-level tool. You wouldn't see many small businesses using that because it's so expensive. It's around 500 AUD a month. So it's a good tool, but it's definitely one of the more complex tools. But if you're doing a lot of content production at scale, like if you're making between 30 to 50 pieces of content a month, you definitely want to be using something like ClearScope. So yeah, but I reckon for SEMrush, definitely check it out. Also, if you want to look at backlinks, Ahrefs is one of the best tools on the market for backlinks. It's based out of Singapore. They've definitely got the most diverse link index on the market at the moment. So yeah. Anyone else got any questions? Anything? I know there was a lot of people coming up to me yesterday asking questions.
I was just wondering if you could elaborate on what a VS landing page is.
Oh, Verse landing page.
Yeah.
So that's where you compare your business with another business. So basically, say for example, a good example, we used to do a lot of work for Campaign Monitor. So if you put into Google search, you put Campaign Monitor, and then you put the words VS, and then you'll see on auto suggest all the searches that are coming up. What you need to do is you need to make a landing page for each individual search query. For small businesses, this strategy is not really going to work. It's more for mid to large businesses where they have search volume on these type of terms. So it's mainly in competitive niches as well, like software as a service and areas like that. It's if you search for any type of software that you could think about, like if you search for like Microsoft Office and then put Verse, and then other options will come up. If you're Microsoft Office, you need to have a landing page about every one of those different queries, because if you don't, an affiliate will, and you'll be paying that affiliate for the traffic that you could easily get. And this is a big issue that we see with businesses, and especially in the coupon space, because you search for any coupon, like if you're going online to buy something, like you search for the iconic coupon, sometimes you'll see affiliate sites that rank above the branded site for coupons. Essentially, you're just paying someone for something you could make yourself. So that's a whole nother story in itself. But does that kind of answer the question?
Okay, folks, we're out of time. Please thank John Norquay there from Prosperity Media. Thanks, John.